James Cameron's Avatar unfolds as a sweeping science fiction epic set in the mid-22nd century, where humanity has stretched its reach beyond Earth in search of resources. By the year 2154, Earth is overpopulated and exhausted, and a powerful corporation known as the RDA, Resources Development Administration, has established mining operations on Pandora, a lush and exotic moon orbiting the gas giant Polyphemus in the Alpha Centauri system. Pandora is breathtaking, filled with bioluminescent forests, floating mountains, and strange wildlife, but the moon's greatest treasure lies underground, a rare mineral called unobtainium, worth billions back on Earth. However, Pandora is not uninhabited. It is home to the Na'vi, a tall, blue-skinned, spiritually connected humanoid species who live in harmony with nature. For the Na'vi, Pandora is not simply land but a living, sacred entity tied together through a biological and spiritual force they call Awa, the guiding mother spirit. The biggest obstacle to RDA's mining operation is the Na'vi people themselves, who resist the destruction of their land. To bridge this divide, humans develop the Avatar program. Through advanced genetic engineering, scientists create hybrid Na'vi bodies called avatars that can be linked to human drivers via a neural interface. These avatars allow human operators to walk among the Na'vi as one of their own, breathing the toxic Pandoran air and interacting naturally with its environment. The story follows Jake Sully, a paraplegic former Marine. Jake's identical twin brother, a scientist, was trained for the Avatar program but dies suddenly, leaving Jake as the only viable genetic match for his brother's expensive avatar. With little to lose, Jake accepts the offer to travel to Pandora, both to honor his brother and to seek a sense of purpose. Upon arrival, Jake is thrust into two opposing worlds. On one hand, Colonel Miles Quaritch, the head of security, promises him the restoration of his legs if he gathers intelligence on the Na'vi and helps facilitate their relocation. On the other hand, the Avatar program's lead scientist, Dr. Grace Augustine, wants to use avatars to build peace and mutual understanding between humans and the Na'vi. What begins as an infiltration mission for Jake transforms into a profound spiritual and emotional journey. Trained in the Na'vi way of life by Neytiri, Jake learns to hunt, ride dire horses, and eventually tame the mighty Toruk, a dragon-like predator that only the bravest Na'vi warriors in history have ever mastered. Through this process, he discovers a world unlike anything he has known, one where every creature, tree, and spirit is connected in a vast web of life. As Jake becomes more accepted by the Na'vi, he finds himself torn between loyalty to his human employers and his growing love for Neytiri and her people. His bond with the Na'vi deepens when he is fully initiated into the clan and mated with Neytiri in a sacred ritual. But Jake's secret that he has been reporting on them to Quaritch and the RDA hangs over him. The conflict comes to a head when the RDA decides to forcibly remove the Omaticaya from their home, the massive home tree, which sits atop rich unobtainium deposits. Despite Jake's pleas to find a peaceful solution, Quaritch orders a brutal assault. Gunships destroy Home Tree in a fiery bombardment, killing many Na'vi, including Itukan, and scattering the survivors. Neytiri, devastated by Jake's betrayal, rejects him. Feeling he has lost everything, Jake chooses to fully embrace his Na'vi self. With the help of Grace and his fellow Avatar driver, Norm Spellman, he attempts to rally the Na'vi by proving his worth. In a bold act, Jake bonds with the legendary Toruk, a feat that makes him a figure of prophecy known as the Toruk Makto. With this display of courage, Jake regains Neytiri's trust and unites the Na'vi clans against the human invaders. The final battle for Pandora is fierce and emotional. The Na'vi, riding banshees and wielding traditional weapons, clash with RDA's heavily armed gunships and AMP suits. Grace is mortally wounded in the chaos, and though the Na'vi attempt to transfer her consciousness permanently into her avatar body through the Tree of Souls, she dies in the process, merging with Awa. When all seems lost, Pandora itself rises in defense. Awa answers the Na'vi's prayers by unleashing the wildlife of the moon-massive hammerhead creatures, packs of viper wolves, and even the winged banshees to turn the tide against the humans. The RDA is overwhelmed, and Jake faces Colonel Quaritch in a climactic duel. Jake Emerich nearly kills Jake by exposing his vulnerable human body, but Neytiri saves him, striking down Quaritch with her arrows. In the aftermath, the surviving RDA personnel are expelled from Pandora, sent back to Earth in defeat. Only a few humans, like Norm and Dr. Max Patel, are allowed to remain because they respected the Na'vi and chose to fight alongside them. Jake, however, makes the most profound choice of all. With Neytiri by his side, he undergoes the sacred ritual at the Tree of Souls to permanently transfer his consciousness into his avatar body. As his human body dies, his Na'vi form opens its eyes, symbolizing his rebirth not as an outsider, but as one of the people. At its heart, Avatar is a story of transformation. Jake Sully begins as a broken soldier looking for a new life, and by the end he becomes a leader who fights not for conquest, but for balance and belonging. It is also a cautionary tale of colonial exploitation and environmental destruction, showing the stark contrast between human greed and the Northerders' spiritual connection to their world. Cameron's epic combines adventure, romance, and ecological philosophy into a narrative that resonates far beyond the spectacle of its groundbreaking visual effects.